He didn't flinch when the first biker spit at his boots. The man stood at the gas pump, motionless, his uniform jacket folded over his arm, revealing a forearm laced with scars and a tattoo half faded by time and sun. 5 bikes rumbled behind him, chrome monsters, loud and cruel. The riders were louder. "Where's your little war now, huh?" One of them sneered, circling like a wolf tasting blood. The others laughed, too loud, too empty. But he just capped the tank, his eyes never rising, his hands steady. Something in his stillness made the air feel thicker. He looked like a man with nothing left to prove. And they didn't know how dangerous that could be. People watched from behind car doors, through gas station windows, with phones clutched in shaking hands. But none stepped forward. That made the laughter louder. That made the biker's courage grow. The soldier, maybe 45, maybe older, wore silence like a shield. His boots were dusty, his skin weathered, his frame lean. His hair was close-cut, but his bearing made him look 10 feet tall. His name was Logan, and once, he'd led men through deserts where the ground burned hotter than sin. He'd watched brothers fall, heard last breaths under mortar smoke, held a photo of a girl with a pink ribbon who would never see her daddy again. He wore that pain like armor. Not many knew he still woke up screaming some nights. Fewer knew why he hadn't worn his medals since the funeral. But today wasn't about medals. Today was about remembering who he still was. The lead biker, bearded, beer-bellied, and hungry for a crowd, shoved Logan hard in the chest. The soldier stepped back, not out of fear, but restraint. His hand brushed against the leather strap of his duffel, the only thing he ever kept locked. "Scared, old man?" The biker grinned, his voice thick with mockery. Logan didn't blink. Silence is the only language of men who've already buried pride. And in that moment, something shifted. Maybe it was the stillness of his breath. Maybe it was the way his fingers slowly undid the duffel's clasp. Maybe it was the cold calm in his eyes as he took one deliberate step forward. But suddenly, 5 bikers realized they weren't circling prey. They were standing in the shadow of a warrior. The first moved fast, cocky, swinging wide. Logan moved faster. A twist, a drop, a silent pivot. In less than a second, the biker hit the pavement. Face first, groaning. The second hesitated. The third didn't get the chance. One arm behind the back. A leg sweep. Down again. People gasped, but Logan didn't hear them. His mind was in a different place. One where decisions were made in heartbeats. One where hesitation cost lives. The last 2 charged at once. That's when Logan did something no one expected. He stepped aside and just stared. That stare? It was heavier than fists, colder than steel. They stopped because they knew this wasn't a fight. This was mercy. Within 60 seconds, 5 bikers lay on the asphalt, broken, not by violence, but by the truth. They had mocked a man who had already buried more pain than they could carry. And he didn't even raise his voice. A quiet cheer rose from the gas station's edge. Not loud, just enough. The store clerk stepped outside, holding a phone but not recording anymore. She whispered, "Sir, are you okay?" Logan nodded. "Once. I've been through worse." Then he turned toward his truck, paused, and looked down at the last biker still groaning. "Never confuse silence for weakness," he said softly. "Some of us trained in it." And then, like a ghost, in daylight, he drove away, leaving behind a silence even louder than the bikes once were. He wore his pain like armor. Silence is the only language of men who've already buried pride. Never confuse silence for weakness. Some of us trained in it. There are men among us who don't brag, who don't scream, who walk into disrespect with calm hands and leave with quiet dignity. Logan wasn't just a soldier. He was a reminder that true strength doesn't need an audience. And silent heroes still walk among us. If this story moved you, leave a comment with where you're watching from. Tell us what silent strength means to you. And subscribe for more stories that honor those who never stop serving, even when no one's watching.